Hi there. I want to show you how to personalize this 8th grade math bullet notes classroom. If you do not have an Adobe or any kind of PDF viewer that's going to allow you to maneuver pages and move them around, then your best bet is just going to be to print this entire file and arrange the pages in the way that you want them before you copy for students. So if you're making them a booklet, you want to print everything first, get it arranged, and then go ahead and copy for them. Page number 4 is this blank page. So you may want to print a couple of different copies of this page so you have it to insert as needed. And again, this is only if you don't have the ability to maneuver pages around in your PDF viewer. So this, I'm using Adobe Acrobat Pro, and I know there's other viewers that will allow you to move pages around without being a pro version, and so you should be okay with that. But okay, so I'm going to put this booklet together for a student. So the first thing that I want to do, and you'll probably want to do too, is to remove these 3 table of content pages. Now I'm working on a Mac, but this will work on a PC as well. So I'm going to you can click and drag to select all of these pages and then delete. Now this is a blank page and we're going to use this quite a bit, so I'm going to leave this sitting here for now. Next, you need to pick which of these 3 cover pages you would like. I'm going to use the bullet notes cover, so I'm going to delete these 2 and then move the cover over here. Now I want you to think about this as being a 2-sided product. So this will be your cover, and then on the back side I'm going to have this blank page here because I don't want anything to print on the back, and students can use this to doodle on or to eventually take little notes later, but I'm going to leave that as is. Next is table of contents. Now this is an 81 page resource as is without any additional pages. So I'm going to say that you might need 2 table of contents. If you are on a PC, to duplicate this page, you're going to hold Control and then drag it. I can't do that here because I'm on a Mac, so it's going to look different. If you're on a Mac, you're going to hold the function and option buttons together and drag, and it'll just make a duplicate page. So I'm going to duplicate this. So now I know this is front, back, and front, back. I have 2 pages of table of contents. Next, bullet notes info. And you'll get a closer look at this in the file, but I'm going to go ahead and use the pre-populated one on here. So I'm going to delete the blank one. You certainly can use the blank one if you'd like. I want to keep the look at the year. This is where they can quickly shade in or write important dates going down through here. And I also want to keep all of this calendar information. Now this is not a student planner, but it still is helpful for you in your classroom. They can quickly jot down when something's due or another important date for your classroom. I'm also going to leave on the schedule because it gives them an opportunity to customize their own class schedule, and all of these pages. Now these pages, this is just a goal map. They can write their goals for the year personally or academically. They can share here what they're grateful for, and summer memories when they get back to your school. They can write in here like certain words and just really make these pages their own. Now the study pages I'm also going to leave up front, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate a couple of these here. So I'm going to make 4 of these. Just so they have a bunch of space, and 4 of these. And I'm not putting in blank pages yet because I'm not quite worried about that at this time, but I will in just a few minutes. And I'm going to leave everything else as is. So what you have here for each skill is you'll have one page that has a little bit of organization on it and another one that's blank. And what I love about this is, let's say you have more information to give them than just this page. You can use this blank real numbers page for practice problems, or if you have more notes to give, you can just go ahead and duplicate this page. They could have 4 or 5 real numbers pages in their journal. It's really, really up to you. Now, I know there's not a ton of notes to go along with real numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave that at 2 pages. But if we scroll through, you might see something that you know your students are going to need a little bit more practice on, a little bit more notes, and you can duplicate those pages. Now, there is not a dot journal page or bullet notes page for every single set of notes in my traditional curriculum. So some people have asked about using this along with that, and you can, but you might need to double up on some things. So, you might need more slope pages to cover all of my notes or something like that. So you can go ahead and duplicate these as you see fit. So again, I'm going to leave all of this alone, but I am going to go ahead and just personal preference. I would like all of these study pages to be at the back of the journal. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select all of these, and then I'm just going to drag them to the back. And again, this is totally preference. You do not have to do this at all, but this is the way that I would prefer to have it set up. And then we're going to come back up here. And so now I'm going to start thinking about printing front to back, front to back. So the way it is now, every odd number page will be your right side page. So if you're thinking about a booklet open in front of you, the even numbers are on the left and the odd numbers are on the right. So I'm going to keep this in mind as I go through here. And I'm going to make a few copies of this blank page as needed. So I can tell that, so this will be a left, right, and that's fine with me. Left, right, I don't really want to break up this calendar. So I'm going to take a blank page here, and I'm going to pull it here. So this way I know if the students are looking at this, they have the look at the year and then a blank page. And then their important dates, their calendars, will open up in front of them, left, right, left, right. I'm fine with the schedule being left, right, with the goal map. Grateful, I kind of think it's really important for students to focus on things they're grateful for. So I'm going to duplicate this page. I want 2 of these left to right. Then they'll have their coloring in pages and their reflecting pages on their summer, thankful, winter break. Now, winter break as it is on a left, and then real numbers are on the right, and I don't want that. So I'm going to put another blank page in after the winter break. So now the way it's set up, and it's going to be like this the rest of the way through, is when students open up their journals or their notes, they're going to see the outline page on the left and then the blank page on the right. And again, if you want to add more pages, that's totally fine. If you want to keep these outline pages on the left, just make sure you add 2 more of each blank page. That way, so for example, real numbers, you'll have 1, 2 pages and then 3, 4 blank before going on to fractions and repeating decimals. So then I'll come down here to the end, and one of these, the monomial operations, they have more than just 2 pages. And I did that on purpose because you have addition and subtraction here, multiplication and division, and then the blank one. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to duplicate this blank one just so I keep with my left, right that I like. So then we move on with exponents on the left, blank exponents on the right, and so on. That's the only one, the monomial operations, that has an odd number of pages. But again, you can change that here, or if you're printing, you can print 2 of these monomial operations blank pages to add in. And then when I get to the bottom, I'm just going to make sure I have a left-right study, a left-right study, left-right study, and left-right study. What you may want to do, and I'm going to go ahead and do this, is add a few blank pages at the back. So I'm going to make one up here and then just drag it down to the bottom, just so they have some extra space at the back of their notes. And again, this is if you are printing an entire booklet for each student. And to print these at the UPS store, which is one of the more expensive options, if you did black and white, which you would only have to do black and white, it's only $10. So if you think it's $10 per student and their notes, this format of notes anyway, are done for the whole year. And you can certainly find cheaper places to print too. Or if you have a binding machine, you can just handle it yourself. So there you go. In just a couple of minutes, that's the amount of time it takes you to go ahead and get this organized for the whole year. And I am super excited about this. I know a lot of you are really excited about this as well, just because it gives students some freedom. It's not as busy as Doodle Notes are. It's not as rigid as Guided Notes or Cornell Notes are. It allows your students the freedom to organize their thoughts in a way that really works best for them. And I think that's going to help a lot of students when it comes to studying and note taking. So that's it. And I can't wait to see how these work for you in your classroom.